Yo, what's good? You're listening to Everyday Superpower, where we talk body language, non-verbal communication, human communication as a general. Come on now. Down in the description of this video, two links. One of them leads to the catalogue of body language as to where you will learn how to read someone from A to B, top to bottom, alright? Simples is a YouTube playlist. Second is a link to my Patreon as to where you will join me in assessing, observing, analysing, and correctly reading and internalising attraction body language, repulsion body language, and all of that good stuff. It won't leave you. It's the real game, alright? Now, let's talk. Fellas, I got 4 people on screen. I'm not much of a movie buff, right? I think the first dude's James Dean, right? Am I right in saying that? Second, Brad Pitt. Boom. Then who's that? Ryan Gosling. Boom. And then this dude, he did Luther, didn't he? I don't know the last dude. It'll probably come to me as we're watching. But initially, I was just going to start this by doing Brad Pitt. And I thought, you know what? I'll throw a couple more in the mix. I found the image elsewhere. I'm not going to lie to you. You know what I mean? Instead of compiling my own random Hollywood celebrities, I thought I'll just Google it. I wanna talk some game, yeah. I'm gonna pin it on Brad Pitt, right? But it could be any A-list Hollywood actor who's known for being handsome or alluring and attractive, and so what? To females, right? Maybe both sides. I couldn't care less. Are you Brad Pitt? Can you be Brad Pitt? All right, and I don't say that in regards to, can you establish the success and the bank account and the celebrity stardom of Brad Pitt? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying, can you be perceived as Brad Pitt? Because Brad Pitt isn't going to go out there into the world. And we're talking attraction today, people. We're talking about, hopefully establishing fulfilling relationships and not coming across as a unwanted man, alright? Which is like the biggest turn-off of all time for women. Who wants somebody that's unwanted? I mean, it's social proof, isn't it? Or lack thereof. So, Brad Pitt isn't going to have a problem with women. But Brad Pitt is also not going to approach the idea of having to learn how to seduce women, because it'll come natural. Brad Pitt isn't going to enter a room and start scanning around to identify and find beautiful women. Brad Pitt isn't going to do these things because it's all going to come to Brad Pitt. Now, there's a lot of positive variables set in place for this individual. First and foremost, he's an A-list Hollywood actor. But you can be Brad Pitt by identifying characteristics you can implement in your life when you consider to yourself, well, if I was Brad Pitt, if I was Jason Momoa, if I was James Dean, if I was Ryan Gosling, if I was the Luther dude, would they be acting in the way I'm acting now? Would their eyes be darting around the room trying to catch a glimpse of someone and catch them looking back? Would they be bothered, or would they be of too high a standard to do so? Would they be going out and about in order to accomplish goals and communicate with friends and so forth? The thing is, this bunch who are on screen now, they know very well and clearly of the power that's within their hands. They deal with women throwing themselves at them day in, day out. It's nothing unnatural. It's all completely normal to them. So they, by default, psychologically, they don't have to swing the pendulum in the direction of them going out and having to source it out from their end. It's just not a case for them. So why don't you identify with one of these people and just get on your business, get on your purpose, get on meeting people and going out to the club for the sake of being with friends and having a good time. And what might happen is, oddly enough, you might start to find that women become more attracted to you and become more magnetized to your presence, because now you are putting yourself out there like Brad Pitt, because clearly you have an abundance, so there's no desperation. Clearly you have a goal and a target. And I spoke in an earlier video in regards to, it's going to be more beneficial for you in the long run as far as attraction is concerned, and being attractive to the opposite sex is going to be more beneficial for you to just get on your game and start ticking boxes, start accomplishing goals, start achieving what you want to achieve. Now, within reason. I don't think, some things will be better than others. I mean, creating more income is probably going to be a little more beneficial to you than, accomplishing beating the video game. You know what I mean? Or I'm gonna go buy the new Call of Duty and beat the game. You have to be realistic. I'm not saying you need to be on your purpose through every degree, but you have to make something make sense and be a somebody, right? And as you're ticking those boxes and you're becoming a somebody and you're highlighting that and concentrating on that, the women by a year on, 2 years on, 3 years on will be tenfold that as to which you were on the path of just pursuing them. Only thing is, now you've got what you want and you're more successful in your field and you're actually quite fulfilled as a human being, as opposed to an empty shell with a little more knowledge on how to speak to women, if you know where I'm coming from. Take two people. One person's a pickup artist and he's good at what he does. Okay? Well, within reason. I'll say within reason. I'll say this person is good at approaching women. And his thing is to go out and approach women, because some pickup artists will implement the game I'm speaking of. Alright? So I'm not saying generally pickup. But let's say two people, one of them's really good at speaking to women. And that's what they pride themselves on. They go and speak to women, make women laugh, and do a great job. But the next person has spent a life of naturally attracting women through who they are, through their endeavours, through their creative, adventure, and through their day-to-day. They don't feel the need to go out and impress. They're happy with who they are and they know what they're worth. And as a byproduct of that, women can identify that vibration and that radiance that is expressed through that man's behaviour and characteristics. There's no desperation there. It's a high frequency, it's not a low one. We're not trying to align with the feminine energy. We are a very powerful spiritual source. Here we are up above in a dominant sense. And so the women pursues number two as opposed to number one. Now, don't get me wrong, number one might get lucky and, establish more numbers, but at the end of the day, number one isn't fulfilling their life's task, and that may leave them with a sour taste come old age. I wish I didn't spend all my time pursuing women, because the next person pursued their dreams and not only found comfort and resolution in doing so, by the end of their journey they ended up creating a larger figure, a more prominent figure, a more attractive and a more alluring figure. And on to the second one. Would she do it for Brad Pitt, alright? She said she's too busy to go on a date with you. Would she have given that same excuse to Brad Pitt or Jason Momoa or Ryan Gosling? Would she have given that same excuse, or would she have prioritised that man over you? She sits there yapping at you, arguing with you in disrespect. Would she do that to Brad Pitt, or would she be a little more scared of losing him? And would Brad Pitt move on, knowing his worth, saying, I don't have the time for this. You're draining my energy. I've got bigger and more important things to do. Not only that, but you are not one of a kind. You are one of many. I have options. I know who I am. Some food for thought. I'm signing out.